The other night, me and LAR Movement did the Brother Pill podcast, and we talked about one-night stands. And if you met a woman and she had a one-night stand with you, would you consider being in a long-term relationship or marriage with her? Now, the topic is interesting because, number one, everybody hopes for a one-night stand as a guy. This is why we go to clubs. This is why we get dressed up and things like that. You know, you hoping that when you go out, there's a small percentage in your mind like, I'm going to meet somebody. She looks good. We're going to go to my house. I'm going to go to her house. But really, the one-night stand is somewhat of a Super Bowl for guys because they're extremely hard to get. Very rarely will a guy meet a woman and sleep with her on the same night or even the same week. So it's a very, very, very difficult thing to do. And usually this may happen for most guys 0 to 1 or 2 times in a lifetime. But then I wanted to analyze, because everything comes down to analytics, right? What type of guy would be more likely to close one-night stands? Okay? Who would be more likely to do it? What if we could create a player, right? And I'm not talking about on a game or a Madden. I'm talking about a real player. If we could hit the create a player button, what attributes would we give a guy who could go out, meet a girl, sleep with her on the same night? Somebody's going to say tall, handsome, muscular, with a lot of money, with a great car. Those are all good intangibles for a player, right? Playa. But the difference between what makes a good player and a great player is what I'm going to talk about right now. One night stand IQ. And I know you're probably not sitting here thinking about what is that term, but I'm going to get into that in a second. My defense is that there are guys who have one night stand IQ, and that is the reason why guys can sleep with women on the first night more than other guys, because they have certain vision that other guys don't. Let me kind of go back to the approach of guys who never close one night stands. And I would even put myself into this category. There are guys who will approach, such as myself or anybody else. But when we approach, we are approaching looking for another contact. So, let me rephrase that. When we go up and look for a girl, look to talk to a girl, we're looking for the ability to exchange personal data with her so that we can call her later or contact her later. We're looking for a WhatsApp number. We're looking for, some guys looking for Instagram. Some guys looking for a Facebook request. Some guys are looking for a phone number. That is what we're looking for. That's the reason why we're contacting her. We want to be able to set up an additional time to talk or date. That's the conventional guy. Hey, how you doing? Then talk, saw you was looking good. You fine. Ha ha ha. Can I get your number? That's how normal guys think 99% of the time. And then we fall into the, yo, let me text you. Yo, how you doing? Good morning and all that stuff. And usually most situations you end up getting phased out and it doesn't go anywhere. That's the typical approach. The guy who is more likely to get the one night stand, I'm going to talk about 2 things that I think that they have. Number 1, he's not looking for the phone number. The phone number is the least thing that he's concerned with. He is so confident he is looking for a connection. He's looking for a connection. His approach is when he meets a woman, he's not trying to find out what your phone number is. That's what he'll take if nothing else can happen. He'll take that last. The phone number is what he's looking for last, okay? His intention when he approaches a lady is to spend as much time with her upon meeting her. And he's trying to do that right away. For example, my brother, who was, I would say, one night stand king, his approach was never to go to a club and try to talk to a bunch of chicks. That's what a lot of guys like to do, right? I learned from my older brother. A lot of guys want to try to go to the club and talk to a whole bunch of chicks. Yeah, man, I got like 11 numbers, which is crazy because you got 11 numbers, but they don't remember you. You don't remember them. You don't have no rapport built with none of them. So you got 11 numbers and you call them and none of them know you, right? My brother wanted to go to the club and said, I go to the club, I look for one woman, and I'm trying to spend as much time with her, hugged up with her, kissing out with her. I'm looking for one woman per night. I'm not in the club invested in multiple women. I'm trying to spend as much time with her that night. And that's the thing. The one night stand guy is looking to approach the woman and, you know, the approach probably is similar. He's like, you know, hey, you look good, whatever, you know. And I think something along of, what are you doing right now? If he can, you know, in that first 30 seconds to 22 minutes, and I want to talk about analytics. Let me just change gears real quick. Most guys, when we approach, in the first 30 seconds to 2 minutes, we have a rough time. The woman doesn't know us. We approached her. We trying to ease some of the stuff. You know, this is why I stopped you. And so that first 30 seconds to 2 minutes is a very rough conversation a little bit. And you might get the phone number after that. And then she walks away. But that is very rough. I found out that the guys who are good at one night stands, they have very good interaction within 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And then also that first interaction is extended. That means that they could take a woman who was going to do something else, and now that woman has forgot everything that she's doing, and that woman is looking to talk to you or engage with you for longer than even 5 minutes initially. And if a guy can get her to do that, almost for certain, he's going to be able to go to second base. So the initial interaction is typically, in my opinion, longer than 2 minutes. Whereas guys who are on the street getting phone numbers, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, and that goes nowhere. That's number one. But what also cannot be explained is guys who are really good at one night stands have high one night stand IQ. How can we explain this? Let's use sports analogy. Lonzo Ball. He makes these really great transition layups and passes. He has vision. We don't know where this vision comes from, but we just know that he has it. Magic Johnson was like this, right? His IQ for the game is at another level. Now, he's not necessarily the best athlete. He's not necessarily the best player, but he sees things developing before they happen. Things that you cannot teach. This is something that's innate, okay? Guys who close one night stands also have this same uncanny, unexplainable ability. Meaning they can look at certain females. And for whatever reason, they get certain vibes. And this vibe is, there's somebody that I believe that I can close and not only get a phone number, but I can close it right now. I don't know if this is a particular thing, like they can feel that some female needs attention, some female's bored today, or whatever. But there are certain guys, certain indicators, they have the ability to close on certain chicks that me and you would think that obviously, number one, we had no opportunity with, or number two, we would be intimidated to talk to them for whatever reason. The guy with the one night stand IQ doesn't see this as a challenge, okay? And there are certain situations that guys who have high conversion rates on certain types of women, they turn what we see as something that's challenging into something that ends up being very successful. And for whatever reason, Guys who go out on the cold approach, guys who doing a lot, they have that IQ, that intelligence that says this woman here is a goer. And a lot of times, I would say, at least 50% of the time, they're right. They just have this innate ability to read women, and read their body language, and understand from whatever method, and they close at a higher rate. And if you look at if they had, whole analytics, that talk time within the first 5 minutes, I can guarantee you that talk time is much longer than guys such as, we get in the phone number and even if they meet up with them a second time, they've put such a seed there in the first interaction that by the time that they meet up with the woman again, she's ready to go. And that's the difference between guys that have high IQ, one night stand IQ, and guys who don't. And again, I repeat myself, guys who don't have that IQ typically are just looking to get the phone number and they're happy to get it. The guy that has the high one night stand IQ is not really impressed. That's the last resort. He's looking to make a connection and make that connection long standing. And then at the end of the day, he'll take the number last. All right. So that's what I want to say. Guys, thank you so much for supporting us. Negro Manosphere Awards. Please go vote in the first comment. Also, thank you for the brothers on Patreon, man. You guys are the reasons why we're able to do the Negro Manosphere Awards. And I appreciate you, brothers, right? If you're not subscribed to the Patreon of the Negro Manosphere, you want to support Black Male Media. And I always say this. Black men, we have to tell our story. Shout out to Ron Wills for that, too. And the NegroManosphere.com is where black men tell their story, right? We create content for brothers. Every black man, I feel, should be Patreon to the Negro Manosphere. We have writers. We pay our writers. We have our web administrator. So, guys, get involved in the content. Ron Wills just uploaded a video on the Patreon. It's called The Attack of the Black Manosphere. It's only available on Patreon, so make sure you check it out. And we are looking to get more brothers involved in the game. So if you want to subscribe to us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Negro Manosphere. Only $5 a month. You get additional content there that's nowhere else. And you're supporting Black Male Media. So continue to do that. Support us, brothers. And I do thank you so much. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. Tell me, what do you think about the one-night stand IQ? Is it some BS? What do you think about it, brothers? Peace out.